Hey there, and welcome to Solid Reviews. I'm Solid Zaku, and today I'll be reviewing Dragon Ball Super. Now, this is part 6 of 6 video reviews I'm doing about Dragon Ball Super. So if you haven't already watched my other 5 reviews about each individual saga in Dragon Ball Super, check them out before or after this video. Now, if you're new to the Dragon Ball franchise, and Dragon Ball Super is going to be your first rodeo here, don't let it being the third installment in the Dragon Ball franchise to discourage you from watching it. While it would be more beneficial for you to watch the previous 2 series, Dragon Ball Super actually does a great job of incorporating a lot of flashbacks and references to the previous 2 series that keeps you in the loop of what's actually relevant to the current story. The first real thing I want to talk about is the voice acting. Now, I watched it dubbed, and no, I don't care about the whole subs versus dubs argument. We can say that for another day, for another video, but I don't care at this moment. I chose to watch Super dubbed because I watched Dragon Ball Z dubbed on Toonami back in the day. For me, Goku's voice has always been immortalized by Sean Schimmel's voice, and so is the rest of the entire cast. When I was coming into this series, I was actually a little bit worried about the voice actors being replaced or not hearing a familiar voice that I heard back in Dragon Ball Z. But once that first episode started rolling, so did the nostalgia and that welcoming feeling of familiar voices. I think the only voices I truly miss was Tiffany Valmer as Bulma and Linda Young as Frieza. Their replacements with Monica Ryle for Bulma and Christopher Aries and later Damon Mills for Frieza didn't meet my nostalgia factor for obvious reasons, but they did a great job filling in those shoes for me. Bar none, the voice acting for the English cast was fantastic. In terms of animation, mwah, simply amazing. Just like newer animes, Dragon Ball Super really has those vibrant colors, smooth textures, yet faithful characteristic visuals of the characters. The Dragon Ball world captures that whimsical color appeal from Dragon Ball, yet screams Dragon Ball Z with the action sequences. The animation never gets lost in itself or try to reinvent the look of Dragon Ball. It just brought in the new look of current anime standards while respecting and embracing the old. When it comes to the fights, clashes of new and old techniques come out, and much of the fighting animation seems to be like that same old, but with a new shine. Rather than feeling stagnated or drawn out with how some of the fights felt in Dragon Ball Z, the fights in each saga presented a lot of new direction, action sequences, shots, and twists and turns. The fights were constantly changed up in dynamic ways that felt incredibly engaging to watch and never really drawn out, with the exception of some, such as Goku vs. Beerus in the Battle of God Saga. When it comes to old techniques, I was actually quite surprised they brought back old moves into the fold, like the evil containment wave from Dragon Ball and Kaioken from Dragon Ball Z. Not only was it a nostalgic kick for me, but it was awesome to see these moves still being relevant and useful. Almost all the episodes flowed very well within a timely manner and with the dynamic fights. It all merged to create this thorough and enjoyable watch. The only times this pacing is truly interrupted was noticeably in the Future Trunks saga, with all the time traveling and the abrupt stops in the fighting just to re-engage the plot. For fillers, Dragon Ball Z was infamous for having a lot of filler episodes that were either mediocre or worthless, as some would put it. Fake Namek. But the filler stories in Dragon Ball Super does justice in this department. As I had argued in the Universe 6 and Future Trunks reviews, I find the fillers of this series to be quite fulfilling and bringing a lot more out of some of our characters. This series finds the right balance of having the right amount of filler episodes without overstaying their welcome, making them incredibly fun to watch, and wonderfully bridging the gaps and easing the tension between each saga. I really love the filler episodes such as the one about Gohan working as a stuntman for the Great Saiyaman movie, Krillin taking up Goku's offer to be his training partner like old times, and the baseball game between Universe 6 and 7. An honorable mention to the Copy Vegeta episodes because I always love seeing character development and growth, especially for a stubborn character like Vegeta. However, these fillers will never truly beat out the epic Goku and Piccolo getting their driver's license episode in Dragon Ball Z, but they're still solid filler episodes that really help round off the series. Before I get to my rating, I want to list out how I rank the Dragon Ball Super sagas from worst to best. Again, if you watch my previous Dragon Ball Super reviews, you might not be too surprised at how I'm going to rank them. And starting at number 5 is Future Trunks Saga. It was a wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey mess with pacing of the action in the story, The constant breaking of the pacing momentum to just go back and forth in time was beyond annoying and distracting. Number 4 is Battle of God Saga. It was just a retelling of the Battle of Gods movie with some decent change-ups. The expansion of lore and the ending was a nice change of pace, but the last fight with Goku and Barris felt like it could have been an episode shorter. Number 3 is Resurrection F Saga. This is another retelling, but there was a lot more change-ups to this one that really appealed to me. Though I was thoroughly disappointed with the clash between the Z Fighters and Frieza's men, the fight with Goku versus Golden Frieza made up for it. Number 2 is Universe 6 Saga. This was a first breath of fresh material from the first 2 sagas, which were retellings. The tournament offered a lot of nice twists and turns during the fights, which really spiced up the series from this point. Besides the saga that's in number 1, this saga has some top-notch fights. And number 1 is Universe Survival Saga. This one is a given, the best saga of the bunch with the highest stakes in the entire Dragon Ball franchise. While slow to start, its second act with the Tournament of Power was an unstoppable train of unrelenting fight after fight that made you, in a good and meta way, feel exhausted along with the fighters. Easily the best fights are all crammed in this saga. There you have it. The saga's all aligned from worst to best in my opinion. But as for Dragon Ball Super overall, the series was exactly what I was hoping for. Taking in the old, mixing it with the new, and not repeating mistakes from Dragon Ball GT. Dragon Ball Super remained faithful to what the franchise has brought in the past, while incorporating new animation, pacing, and visual direction. It was wholly respectful to what was already established by the previous series, and built even more on top of it. I'm not sure where the Dragon Ball sequel could go from here, but just like Goku, this series and the Dragon Ball franchise keeps going to newer and higher heights. If you're a fan of Dragon Ball Z, fan of shonen, or even a newcomer to anime, don't miss out on Dragon Ball Super. Do yourself a favor and watch it as soon as you can. It's an anime I highly recommend to watch and not to miss out on. Dragon Ball Super gets a solid 4 out of 5. I can't believe I actually waited 5 years just to watch Dragon Ball Super in its entirety in dub. But hey, I finally got to watch it, right? And I enjoyed it. But tell me, what do you think about my opinion or your thoughts on this saga? Leave a comment down below. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my channel, like this video, and share it. Thanks again for watching this episode of Solid Reviews. And until the next review, see you next time.